Hello there! This is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8. And today, I'm gonna be doing a multiplayer protest of the absolutely gorgeous car that you see on the screen right now. And that's of course the Lamborghini Sian FKP 37, also known just as the Lamborghini Sian. Now you might be wondering, DBT, why are you making a video on this car if it's not relevant right now? There's not a sale for it. Well, I don't really need a reason to drive a Lambo. However, I do have a reason, and I'll explain in a bit. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, because doing this tells YouTube that this is worth recommending to more people, and in that way, I can continue making this type of content for you. So, if you want some more Asphalt 8 right here, like and subscribe. Now, as I just mentioned, there is a reason for me to want to make this video with this car in particular, even though there's not a special sale for it or anything like that. This is not a particularly relevant car right now. However, thanks to the patch notes, we know that this car will be featured in a racing pass a little bit later down the line. And well, I wanted to record a video, a proper test of this car alone, and then eventually, once the Racing Pass releases, I'll be doing a special type of video where I test all of the cars kind of together. We'll get to that at some other point. But for now, Lamborghini Sian, what's the deal with this beauty? And it do be a beauty, look at that. But anyway, if you don't know anything about this car, it's a Class S car with a rank of 1861, and I suppose it would be more useful to show you the stats with Tuning Kit. And there you have it, Tuning Kit activated. Now, as I always say, all of these numbers over here are not particularly useful because the acceleration is not very indicative of anything. It's not properly set up. It's fake, basically. For the top speed plus nitro, it's the average of what you would expect of a car of this rank. And well, we also have the information on the handling, but that's a little bit harder to make up to any level of specificity. But the real way to test this car to know how good or bad it is to get into multiplayer, so let's do just that. Alright, let's get this started. Now, you might be wondering, if you have followed previous videos that I've done in Asphalt 8, you may know that I recently acquired a certain Lambo that I have been waiting for a very long time to acquire, the Lamborghini Revuelto. And you might be wondering, DBT, why did you not make a video on that car already? No worries, I'll get to it. It's just that there are some plans for it and I need to set up some stuff. We'll get to that. But for now, I also wanted to test this car because, man, it's really funny to me that this is one of my favorite Lambos in the entire game, just in terms of the looks alone, and yet I have never done a protest of this thing. And again, it's kind of curious because when I started playing this game, Asphalt 8, well, when I started playing it properly, which was what, like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember, this car was one of my most coveted cars that I needed in this game. Yes, it is a Lambo, so I wanted all of the Lambos, but man, this was the one that I was aiming for, other than the Lamborghini Veneno, which shouldn't be a surprise. You know that the Veneno is my absolutely favorite Lambo out there, but for now, this is my first race and it's a first place. Oh, it feels good to start in this way. Let's see what I beat. Man, this is, let me tell you, this is a good car. Alright, so Sian defeating a Chiron 300 Plus, McLaren Solos, an unboosted Pininfarina Batista, a Regera, and a 720S, though that thing is incredibly underranked. That's fair. Now, back then, when I started playing this game properly, there were 3 strong Class S Lambos. There was the Lamborghini Aventador SV, the Lamborghini Sian, and the Lamborghini Centenario. Now, there was also the Terzo Millennio, but at that point, the Terzo Millennio hadn't been rebalanced, so it was like at a rank of 1805 or something like that. I don't quite remember. But yeah, the main 3 Lambos to look for, or the strongest ones, I suppose, would be those 3. Now, I know that in general, the Lamborghini Aventador SV is not seen as a very strong car and whatnot. It's at the very least decent. But really, the powerhouses of Lamborghini at the time were the Lamborghini Centenario and the Lamborghini Sian. Now, here's the thing. The Lamborghini Centenario was so incredibly spammed back then. And for anybody that started playing this game like 2 years ago or something like that, you may not know how the upgrading system, the upgrading system worked back then, but I'm not gonna explain the whole thing. I'm just gonna say that it was much easier to upgrade a Centenario than it was upgrading a Lamborghini Sian, and because of that you would see a lot more Centenarios than Sian, even though the cars are relatively comparable in terms of performance. And don't worry, we'll talk about the performance, but I just like giving you a little bit of an idea why this car, you know, it has taken me this long, and I find it funny that it has taken me this long. It has taken me this long to cover. That's what I meant to say. But anyway, so as I was saying, Lamborghini Centenario and Sian, really strong cars, but the Sian was so difficult to upgrade in comparison to the Centenario. So the Centenario was the one that was used quite a bit. It was quite spammed. And even back then, even when I was young into playing this game like that, I already knew that I didn't like spam cars, and I didn't like cars that didn't have color options, which was the case with the Centenario. You know that it comes in black. The only variation is whether it has red or yellow accents. That's really the only thing. Other than that, it's all black. So to me, it was really boring to see so many Centenarios, all of them looking basically the same. And instead, again, the Lamborghini Sian was a much more rare car. Okay, hold on, look. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. I thought I was gonna mess it up, and now we're good. This was a much more rare car, and like I said, also very strong as well. Back in the day, the Centenario was meta, meaning most effective tactic available, because it's a really, really good car overall. And to be fair, this one, the Sian, was seen as the less good version of the Centenario. And don't worry, like I said, we'll talk about the performance in a bit. But for now, again, I'm just giving... Oh God, I'm so sorry. That was not on purpose, all right? That wasn't. But anyway. So yeah, I was in love with this car. I actually think it looks even cooler than the Centenario. I know that people will disagree with me on that one. It's fine. But I really like this car overall, and I was looking to get it, and eventually I got it. Eventually I upgraded it, and I was so happy to have a proud out Sian. And in fact, this is a car that I used a lot in multiplayer when I was playing, you know, a lot more of classes races only. And that's gonna be a first place member! RIP that Faraday. It wasn't on purpose, a knockdown, but that gave me another W, so how can I be upset about that? All right, so there we go. Oh, there was another Sian in the race. Let's go. Regera, Faraday, Ultima, and a Batista. Ooh, we got a short race. And all right, let's see if I can talk about the performance just within this race. What is the deal with the Sian? It is a pretty good car. Now, by now, it is not as good as it used to be, because by now there's so many other cars that are also very strong. But the whole point of this thing is, it is not weak at anything in particular. It's just pretty alright at everything. It has pretty good nitro, it has pretty good acceleration, it has okay handling, it has okay drift. So in general, this is not a car that you're gonna be suffering with a ton. Now, I did mention that the Centenario is one that it's seen as a better version of this because it also has great nitro, or really good nitro. It has also really good acceleration, at least back in the day it was really good. By now it's still decent enough. But the thing is that the Centenario handles and drifts. Oh God, what just happened? Jesus. It handles and drifts better than this car. Now, allegedly, this car has a slightly better acceleration than the Centenario, but thanks to the handling and the drift, the Centenario overall is the one that seems a bit more viable. Yet, like I said, this car doesn't really suffer of anything. At least I don't believe so. All right, I did get defeated by a 765 LT Spider. Wait, what car is that? Oh, it's a newer one, right? Okay. Beat a Faraday, a Batista, Regera, and a Solus. Lovely stuff. And since we're talking about the drift, it's time to do this Spiral Drift test. Let's see how this thing can drift. Is it really bad? Let's check it out. It is not bad. Now, it's not the sharpest thing ever. I only had to barely release the button in order to complete that, but that's not bad. Let's go for take 2 just to double check. I'll try to do it a little bit better. All right, a little bit of a release over there. But yeah, it's not absolutely amazing, but it's not bad. It's quite all right. It's quite usable. Now, of course, I'm gonna test it also in the opposite way because we have to do that. Check it out. Get out of the way, Sharon. Thank you. Now, this side always feels assisted, so it might look a little bit sharper. It's fine. That's just kind of how it... Oh, God, that was terrible. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, I messed that up. That was my fault. That's not the car's fault. That was just DVT doing a dumb. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's do this. So, yeah, over here I'm having to release a tiny bit more. But, yeah, like I said, it's quite okay. It's usable. Yeah, it's not nearly as good as the one on the Centenario, but it's not bad drift either. Now let's check that acceleration with the time to wall test. I think this is a pretty clean... Oh, dude, what? Oh, man. In previous attempt, that car didn't just jump in front of me, but don't worry. I'm gonna do another attempt. Let's see if this time Mr. Huayra R doesn't jump in front of me. Come on. Stay in your lane, buddy. There we go. That's more like it. Beautiful. Alright, that is about as good as I can make that. But of course, it's good to test it in Gate Drift, where the timer is counting down rather than up. But still, there's no enemies, so this is as clean as it can possibly get to reach the time. I mean, to reach the wall and really check the time. So there you go. That is the acceleration of the Sian. Now, before moving on into more multiplayer, I want to show you the color options for this car because, oh boy. To begin with, the default one is absolutely beautiful. I love this color. Of course, I learned to love it because of this car. And over time, in other games where I can create my own custom colors, I like duplicating this color because it just looks so cool. It's this really strange combination of like an olive tone, but also slightly more greenish, but desaturated. I don't know, I really like it. But anyway, that's the default color for the Sian. Then we also have it on white, which over here looks alright, nothing too amazing. It's a little bit more like silverish or gray, I suppose. We got it also in blue, which you already saw in the time to wall test. We got it in black, which looks super boring in my opinion. Obviously, some people like the cars on black, but not me. We got it also in yellow, which is another one of my favorite because it looks fantastic with my avatar. We got it in this kind of reddish, ever so slightly orange. I like it quite a bit. We got it on straight up silver, like more reflective and stuff. And finally, we got it also in Choco Lambo tone, meaning in this brown, which normally I'm gonna say bronze. How about that? This kind of bronze color, which normally is not one that I like a lot, but in Lambos, man, it looks fantastic. But that's not all. There's also a livery that was available. I think this was given for free back in the 15th anniversary of Gameloft. I think that's what it was. So yeah, this is actually when the Sian was released. Now, because I obtained the Sian much later, I didn't actually get this livery. I could buy it for 200 vouchers, but I'm not gonna do that. Here's also this other livery that I don't remember how I got, but I did get it. So it looks kind of cool, an alternative for the Sian, which looks kind of dope. And then there's this other one, which I also kind of like. I mean, it has a lot of black, and you know that I don't love that, but it does a pretty good job at, you know, highlighting some lines of the car, so it's interesting. But I'm not sure that I want to spend my 200 vouchers on that, so I'm not. Instead, how about I drive it in this gorgeous color? And of course, right after I do the drift test, the game is like, okay, let me give you more Munich, but this time in multiplayer. Okay, game, it's fine. Now, I did want to make a comment as to something kind of funny about this car. The Lamborghini Sian is the first proper hybrid production car that Lamborghini has done. Officially, the first hybrid of Lamborghini, it was supposed to be the Lamborghini Asterion. That was supposed to be the first hybrid that they were going to do. But that car never went into production, so it didn't count. So instead, it's this. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's this one. Hold on. Where's the train? Where's the train? I don't see the train. Okay. Instead, this is the first proper hybrid that they did. Now, it's a very... I'm fine. What just happened? Did I get knocked down twice? What just happened? I think I collided with the train again. Ah, Jesus. So this is the first proper hybrid, though it's a weird hybrid system. Instead of having a battery, like most hybrids do, this one has a super capacitor. I'm not gonna go into the details of it. I don't think it's super relevant. It's just that I wanted to mention that, yeah, this was the first hybrid, and now the successor to this car, well, not really this one, it's the successor to the Aventador, but still, the Revuelto is the proper, you know, more regular type of hybrid. But yeah, this was kind of like the Sian opening the road to the hybrid technology for Lamborghini. And then, like I just mentioned, the Revuelto is the proper one. Yeah, I got defeated by everything. There were not a lot of opponents here, but yeah, that was terrible. So one could say, you know, considering that the Sian was the one that, you know, did this whole thing of the hybrid, maybe we could say that the Sian was a window to the future. And the future was bright. That's gonna be the key phrase for the day. You know the hard opinion. You know how that whole thing works. But yeah, there you go with the key phrase. But yeah, I don't know. I just find a little bit peculiar the relationship between the Sian and the Revuelto in that sense. Also, the Revuelto, you know that it has the same type of headlight. Well, technically it's not the headlight. It's the daylight running lights. Day running lights, whatever they're called. You know, the Y shapes in the front, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So that's another Sian sort of reference. And, you know, it's a thing that Lamborghini tends to do when they're doing this type of few of cars. I say few of, and they made 63 of this, but still. They incorporate design elements that eventually are probably going to end up trickling down to their more, quote-unquote, mass production Lambo. And this is going to be a... Look at that. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, the Y shapes in the front, this one's right here, those are very similar to the ones that eventually were used on the Revuelto. So that's kind of dope as well. But okay, here we go. First place for DBT on the Sian. We got Batista, Centenario, Devel, Bolide, and another Devel. Interesting. Oh boy, we're back in Alps. Okay, fine. But if you're wondering, DBT, how do you know that it's 67? Yeah, it's because it's a funny thing that they did with this thing. They made 67 coupes and 19 roadsters as a reference to 1967, the year in which the Lamborghini company was founded. So, kind of funky. Let's see how we do over here. Probably not fantastic. I don't think I can do great in these super short tracks, but still, let's try. Oh, look at that. There's a Centenario. Let's go. You see how the acceleration was very similar between these two cars? Like I said, supposedly the acceleration for the Sian, it's slightly, ever so slightly better than the Centenario, but like I said, the Centenario has the upper hand in general handling and in drifting as well. Now let's see if I can actually keep this. So let me try to focus here for a second. Oh, I missed that nitro bottle. Come on, come on. Is the triple tap gonna take me all the way to... No! I mean, intended. Did you see DBT doing the spit tricks and all of that? And that's a... Oh, but this was beautiful because there was a Centenario right next to me. Oh, that felt good. Not that it felt good to be that Centenario. It felt good to have another Lambo, right? It's not that... Oh, my God. I thought it was a Centenario behind me. It was a Devel. Never mind. It's not as good as I thought. I mean, the situation. The car, still lovely, the Sian. I just remember it's daytime running lights. That's what they're called, not daylight running lights. Okay, there we go. I got it. Ooh, shoutouts to Storm for wearing the DBT hoodie. You look fantastic on that, man. Just saying. I just thought of mentioning that. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but all of the races that you're seeing right now are sequential. Obviously, there was a pause in between the races when I was doing the test for drift and whatnot, but after that, all of these races continue to be sequential. There's no cherry picking over here. I'm showing you whatever I get, and that's what I was gonna say that's what makes it cooler when I get first places, because they're proper first places. They're not cherry picked. It's just whatever happens, happens. But then you get situations like this in which I get ringed out, whatever is the past tense of ring. But yeah, whatever, it's fine. Still, sequential races, just so that you don't think I'm selecting which races to show you or anything. Nah, I show you all of the races because that's how I do. You know, to this day, I keep on saying I want to show you the general experience of multiplayer as opposed to just showing you the races that look cool because I won. I do that in other type of videos, like when I do showcases and things like that. But for this type of videos, no, everything is sequential because that's how I roll. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, that was not a good race. To be fair, it wasn't so much my fault. Oh, wait, someone crashed? Let's go, third place. I bet unexpected, but you know what? I'll take it. Oh, there was a Centenario. Oh, man. Okay, whatever, I'm fine. But hey, if you're watching this video because DBT from my future directed you to watch this once the racing pass for this car began, let me know in the comments. Tell me something like, hey DBT, I'm watching this because DBT from the future sent me. I don't know, something like that, whatever. But yeah, in general, good car. That's what I can leave it at. Good car. I can confidently, that's the word I was looking for. I can confidently say this is a good car. Now, it's not necessarily a king or anything, but it's a very good car overall. Like I said, it may not be the biggest or the best at anything, but it certainly doesn't have anything that it's bad about it. So yeah, very, very, very good car. Not a king, but definitely still very good. So yes, if you're thinking, should I get a racing pass for this car once it actually releases? Well, I would say why not? It do be especially if you like how the car looks. Yeah, this is a W in my opinion. Now, if there's another way to get the car before that and that's why you're watching this video, then that's cool. Get it anyway. But yeah, just sort of making this video before that racing pass started because, hey, you know, reasons. But alright, apparently that's gonna be a second place, which in general is not too bad. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Subscribe, like button, all of that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.